Let me see. Shalom, Israel, shalom, shalom. Brother Shai, the servants with Island. Starting off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashmi Shai. Just wanted to get into, a late night topic. Kind of going into something. A few brothers asking me questions on certain things like, how to deal with a sorrowful spirit, sorrowful mind. And it gets tough out here, man. Bear with me. Salakia. Hey, bear with me real quick. Right, but a few brothers done reached out to me on the topic. Not a topic, but some advice. Advice, scriptures. Going into things of that nature. And it get tough in life. You know what I'm saying, in general, out the truth. And your mind, it can get plagued by Satan. You know what I'm saying, and like I said, it get tough in this thing. Like I said, whether you're in the truth, out the truth. We all still in the flesh at the end of the day, right? Just jump right into this thing, or kick it off with this precept. It's the book of Sirach, right? Chapter 30, I'm going to start at verse number 21. And it reads, Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thy own counsel. Right? So you don't want to give your mind over to heaviness, right? You don't want to be in a depressed state all the time, or allow these demons and spirits to conquer you, you know what I'm saying, and control you to the point you can't really do nothing about it, or it's not allowing you to progress in the ways you usually would, whether it's your work, your money, being in a joyful spirit with your family, whether it messes up your reading, your studying, how it can affect your household or your brotherhood, so on and so forth. You don't want to give your mind over to heaviness and always just be in a lower state, right? Beat yourself up about things. It says, and afflict not thyself for thine own counsel, meaning you don't really want to beat yourself up about things, right? You don't want to be one of those people who, I can't do it, or maybe this is the end, or, start having those type of thoughts, afflicting yourself in your own counsel, right? Because when you're in those type of circumstances or predicaments, when you tend to afflict yourself in your own counsel, 10 times out of 10, it's the spiritual demon Satan, right? It's Satan plaguing your mind. For like 1 Peter 5:8 says, Satan, he's roaring, seeking whom he may devour. And one of Satan's main targets within you or on a person is your mind, because our mind is corrupt. You know what I'm saying? Like Jeremiah says, the mind is, your heart is desperately wicked, paraphrasing. Who shall know it? You know what I'm saying? So Satan knows your mind better than you, and he knows how to get you in those lower states and how to get you having these thoughts, and to then what he wants is to then be in action, right? Whatever that action may be, which we're going to get into. Right, verse 22. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Right? So being joyful is what's going to allow your days to be prolonged, what's going to allow you to live longer. Because you got to think about all the shit that comes with having a sorrowful spirit. Right? A lot of people tend to drink more when they're sorrowful, to try and forget their pain or the things they're going through. You got people on this side who may take drugs, whether it be pills, smoking weed all day. You know what I'm saying? You got to take these things into consideration when you say being joyful can prolong your days. People become alcoholics. People become drug addicts. right? Tazarak. So basically, overthinking can be Satan. Absolutely, brother. Overthinking can be Satan. It's gonna happen because we're in the flesh, right? You're gonna overthink, and these things are gonna happen. But what you don't want to do while overthinking is then proceed into a depressive state of mind. You don't want to start beating yourself up about it or having wicked thoughts or, oh, I can't do it, or I want to kill myself, or oh, F me, or I don't want to be here no more. That's when Satan starts to really take that toll on your mind. So overthinking is definitely Satan. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get into more precepts to break it down to you, King, and everybody else watching and who may tune in the future. Right? So like I said, joyfulness is what's gonna allow your days to live longer. Right? When we have these feast days, we joyful, we merry, we turn up in righteousness for the Lord. You know, we look forward to these things. Right? But if you're one of those people who's giving yourself afflicting yourself in your own counsel, like I was saying, you could turn into an alcoholic, drinking all day, every day, kill your liver. Now your liver's failing and this and that, right? You could be a drug addict. You got people overdosing and dying and becoming addicted and not being able to pay their bills and all these things because of drugs and losing their jobs. And, you know, there's various other things as well, right? But when you're joyful, you don't got to worry about those things. Even when you may have a few thoughts, you know, thoughts definitely pass through the mind where it's like, damn, you know, I'm catching hell right now. I'm going through it, right? But you gotta fight through it, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get through these things, and that's why we got these precepts, your brothers to lean on, these precepts to lean on. Know what I mean? And things to keep striving and fighting this good fight. Verse 23: Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. Right? So it says, love thine own soul. You want to love your own soul, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to love your own soul. And we know loving your soul is keeping these laws, right? But also, Ephesians, the 5th chapter, you know, it says, you know, to basically no man hates his own body, right? In context, referring to how you would treat your wife. But I just want to take that small portion real quick and take it and add it to this. Like, no man hates his own body. And you don't want to hate your own body. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to start thinking destructively, having wicked thoughts, a plague of the mind, plague of the heart, and it just gets too corrupt for you. Then you start doing things to your body or doing things to others, you know, just because you're in a certain state of mind. Right? That sorrowness is what's gonna kill you. Like it reads, it says comfort thy heart. And these scriptures, you know, Yahweh Shah is the comforter. You know what I'm saying? Like it says in John 1. The Yahweh Shah is the comforter. And then he also gave us brothers to help comfort us. You know what I'm saying? You got congregations, brotherhoods, you got your wife, right? You may have your children, right? But you know, there's different avenues, whatever your lot is, or whoever the Lord set up around you to help you stay strong in this thing as well. Ultimately, these scriptures, these precepts, and Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, gotta shoot these prayers up, seek the Most High. You know what I'm saying? It says, remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein. Right? And you know, when you know, Bible aside, like in the world, you know, you see a lot of people take their life from depression. You know, a lot of people may be depressed, going through it, or I'm off the drugs, I try and forget the pain, or I'm sipping, trying to forget the pain, or you know, and then you got other people who just may kill themselves, you know what I'm saying, overdose on purpose, or shoot themselves, or jump off a building or a bridge, you know what I'm saying, shit gets sad, you know what I'm saying, it get tough, but, you know, these people weren't strong enough, and unfortunately, their minds were given over to Satan, you know what I'm saying, um, and that's the beauty of knowing this truth as well. We know that we can meditate and gravitate towards the precepts, the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? We know what we're supposed to do and we're not supposed to be doing. And when you're diligent reading, you gain more wisdom, knowledge, understanding in this truth. You know, the Lord opened up some more doors for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to enter within you. And You know, he also sets people, wise men around you. You know what I'm saying? To shalom at the servants, right? The main channel, the HQ out there in Atlanta, right? But he sets brothers up around you to be able to fight these battles. But everybody don't get that luxury like we do, you know. So, like I said, it get tough. Right? Let me pull this out real quick. In the book of Proverbs. Right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at verse 5. And it reads, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding." You know what I'm saying? So the scripture says to trust in the Lord with all your heart, not some of your heart. You can't second guess the Lord, or you can't. Now you gotta trust the Lord with all your heart, and don't lean unto your own understanding, right? Because like I mentioned in the book of Jeremiah, it says the heart is desperately wicked. Who then shall know it? Paraphrasing, right? So you can't trust your own heart. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, the counsels, Shalom, King, brother Eli, right? A lot of the counsel and knowledge and things brothers may help with other brothers and sisters in this truth is all predicated based off of the scriptures, and we know that. If it were based off their own minds, then we couldn't really trust them. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't even know their own hearts, right? So Proverbs, you know, the Lord's saying, trust in His own heart. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not into your own understanding, because your own understanding will get you jacked up, right? It'll get you having these wicked thoughts, and your mind will be plagued. You'll start having crazy thoughts, and even probably start doing crazy actions. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you're gonna fall and make mistakes, right? And especially when you're already in a depressed or sorrow state of mind. You know what I'm saying? That's when you're gonna get jammed up the most, because Satan knows that's when you're at your lowest. That's when you're at your weakest state, right? This is the book of First Peter, trying to kind of elaborate off that. First Peter chapter 5 and verse number 7. It reads, "Casting all your care." I'm gonna start at verse 6. It says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that He may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon Him, for He careth for you." Right? So you want to cast all your cares and all your worries upon Yahweh Shem Shai. You know what I'm saying? And not that you can't depend or rely on the next man, brother, or sister who may be there for you in this thing, but they dealing with their own problems too a lot of the times. And once again, it's good to fight together. You know, Ecclesiastes 4:9, for two are better than one. You know, but you know, your ultimate savior, your buckler, your shield, is going to be the Most High. And when you lean under His own when you lean unto His understanding, right? When you lean into this Bible and go through these precepts, these accounts, you actually meditate, you read, pray, fast, you're gonna be able to get through these demons. You know what I'm saying? Not maybe, you will. You know what I'm saying? But that also comes with faith and actually believing in the Most High, right? But you also gotta remember that these demons leave and come for a season. They leave for a season and come right back, because it's one of the let me get it. It's one of the curses, right? And that's another thing too. A lot of people don't even realize that being sorrowful or plaguing this mind is actually a real deal curse. You know what I'm saying? That the Lord cast it upon our people specifically. These white folks, they ain't sorrowful, man. Their depression is not real depression. What the hell they going through? They ain't going through poverty. They ain't poor. They ain't beefing with their own brothers and sisters on the blocks. They ain't worried about fleeing 7 different ways when the police come and trying to fight the court system, and they don't worry about these things. It's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? So they depression be shit like, oh, they blow their money from their inheritance and now they going broke. That's Man, I wish I had an inheritance to blow. You know what I'm saying? To spend some money like they did. There should be little things like little Billy did or little Sarah didn't make the damn clarinet team. So now she wants to offer herself in the high school girls' bathroom. You know what I'm saying? They don't got real problems. They don't, Right, let me get this. This is Deuteronomy 28, and I'm gonna start at verse 65, right? And it reads, "And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life." So that's plain upon tables, man. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says that the Lord's gonna give us a trembling of heart, a feeling for eyes, and a sorrow of mind. That we were good. It's a curse that we get depressed. It's a curse that we tremble and fear day by day, not knowing if we're gonna uh, 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 eat or eat our next meal, be able to pay our bills, right? If the police is gonna shoot us when we step out this door, if we're gonna get fired at our job, you know what I'm saying? If one of our brothers is gonna evilize and want to kill us, right? The curses never end. But one of them, the Lord said that we're gonna be sorrow in mind. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a sorrow mind. That was already written. You know what I'm saying? That we was gonna be going through these things, man. You know what I'm saying? So we also got to take into consideration that, the Lord said the Israelites is going to be depressed a lot of the time. They're going to be feeble-minded, feeble-hearted. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of got to take that cheerfully. It sounds crazy and stuff, but you got to take these things cheerfully. You know what I'm saying? These damn Edomites, man, they don't. Sheesh. When they off themselves, it get dramatic. Right, you got the damn CEO at Bed Bath and Beyond. It was Bed Bath and Beyond, I believe, a year or two ago. He started going. I don't even think he was in debt. I think his company was going bankrupt, right? And I think it dropped to like 600 million or something like that. And the man jumped off the skyscraper and killed himself. 600. It dropped to 600 million. And he jumped off the skyscraper and killed himself. That's it. That's Esau's type of sorrowness. You know how much, you know, man, 600 mil. I would Let me not even say those words, but hey, man, I ain't complaining about 600 mil. Or we praising the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But my point is, that's not a curse on them. So when they sorrow or depressed, it's over BS, man. You know what I'm saying? So let me elaborate on that, right? Because we read in Sirach 30 that sorrow kills, right? And what is that going into? That's sorrow kills. Sorrowness killing, right? Is your mind being plagued? Like I said, it can lead to being an alcoholic, being a drug addict, right? Suicide. It could be a million and one things, right? That could lead to your death. Death and your mind being dead, doing whatever, not caring about your life, right? And you don't want to be one of them type of men. You know what I'm saying? So let me read this real quick. Right, this is the Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse number 12. It reads, "Seek not death in the error of your life, and pull not upon yourselves destruction with the works of your hands." Right? So you don't want to seek death in the error of your life. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to think about suicide or, "Oh, I want to die. I can't do this no more." You know what I'm saying? It says, "And pull not destruction upon yourselves. Put not upon yourself destruction with the work of your hands," meaning don't kill yourself. It says, "For God made not death, neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living." Right? And God, he's not pleased with you killing yourself. God created you. You understand? He made you. He didn't make you for you to kill yourself because your mind is plagued or you're depressed or you're going through it, right? It's a curse. You're going to be going through these things. You're going to have to battle a lot of things mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, emotionally. It gets tough out here, especially as an Israelite man and Israelite woman. But that's the whole point of endurance, right? Especially for those who know the truth. If you know the truth, if you know this truth, you know that you're supposed to endure until the end. You knowing this truth, knowing you're an Israelite, knowing these curses, you came in this thing knowing what to expect. All right, let me get this real quick. Right, you should have already known. You know, this is one of the classic precepts. Every brother kind of gotta. This is one of the first. This is one of the first precepts you gotta read coming in this thing. Right, this is Sirach 2:1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Right, so you got to understand that when you come to serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, when you come to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, right, you're going to be tempted. These old women are going to come back into your life, texting you, yo, what's popping, or I want to see you, I miss you, right? You're going to have them same cats who used to chill with in the world. Yo, you still sell weed, or you got weed I can buy, or you want to smoke up, right? You're going to have your parents trying to seduce you into keeping their hell days, you know what I'm saying? Christmas, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, Father's Day, it's 4th of July, right? You're going to have your friends or your job trying to offer you bring your own dish to work day, and they got the swine all over the table with the seafood boils, right? You're going to be tempted in so many ways to sin, to leave this truth, right? So much on your plate, I can't take it no more, to leave, right? But this is all part of the battle, right? And a lot of it is going to allow you to get in a solid state of mind. I'm a victim. You know what I'm saying? You know, not to get too deep in my testimony, but did been times where I wanted to kind of say deuces to the truth. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord didn't wake me up for no reason. You know what I'm saying? The Lord didn't make me go through my battles and get this far for no reason, for it to be in vain. You know what I'm saying? But there's been times where we don't all had these thoughts, man. But the thing is, you can't let the thoughts beat you. It's Satan. You can't let these demons beat you. Yahweh Shai said you have power to tread on serpents and scorpions. So if you got the power to do so, then why not do it? Or you're just gonna let them kill you, right? So you gotta understand what you came in this thing to do. Or you gotta cleave unto the Lord, right? It says, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state." Man, you gotta be patient. You can't make a hasty decision when you get into those depressive state of minds. A lot of people do. Israelite brother in the truth. Not that I know anybody that's done this. This is just an example, hypothetically speaking. But you know, you got Israelite. You may have an Israelite brother in this truth. Yeah. Been up since early this morning, right? But you may have a brother in this truth. You know, come in this thing. Things are going well for him. Then boom, everything's taken away from him. The Job type scenario. Lost his job. Done did this. Done did that. And in the world, he was a dope dealer. You know, so now he lost his job. He's changed to a little state. He ain't getting the money that he's supposed to be doing. He's like, damn, let me just go back to doing what I was doing, selling these drugs, doing this, that, and the third, because he's sorrowful. Now he's selling the drugs. He got the ops back on him, watching. Oh, homeboy, he's back out here doing this. Even though, mind you, this is all being controlled by the Lord. He's selling his drugs. He got the ops back on him. He got he got to watch over his shoulders for the police. You know what I'm saying? He may get locked up and do more time. May get killed, robbed, and killed by his own people because they envy him. And that's how that sorrow could bring death. You know what I'm saying? In another manner. So you can't be hasty as well to make a decision just because you can't be hasty to make a decision when you get in that state of mind. It's very important to be patient and to trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Shoot some prayers up fast. You know what I'm saying? My little brother, I'm use his little testimony, you know what I'm saying? No names, but he lost his job yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And his boss being an asshole, heathen, Edom just being an asshole to my brother. My brother been trying to do his thing in his truth, been keeping the laws, been trying to keep his Sabbaths, been wearing his fringes, beard, so on and so forth, deaded pork. And I'm slowly trying to get him in this thing, but long story short, he lost his job yesterday. Cried out to the Most High, prayed X, Y, and Z. He got a job the next day, today. The Lord got him right immediately. He didn't make and faith without works is dead. He had to go and do his thing, but it was the very next day got hired on the spot at a job. Kolo Yalbashim was shy. But nevertheless, you gotta be patient and really trust in the Lord, and the Lord will get you right. The Lord is gonna make sure his servants eat. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna make sure they're good. Right? I'm gonna get an account of someone moving hasty, right, and kind of taking that route. I'm pretty sure everyone's aware of Saul, right? Saul killed himself, man. He made a hasty decision, and it was all his fault. At the end of the day, Saul was going off, and Saul got judged ultimately. The Lord put it on his spirit to do that, but he got judged ultimately, and took the cheap route. Right, this is the book of 1 Samuel chapter 31 and verse 1, and it reads, "Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines, and fell down, slain in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons. And the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab and Melchua and Saul's sons." So the Philistines is fighting against Israel, and the Philistines killed Saul's 3 sons. Right, verse 3. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers. So the Philistines, they're chasing Saul, they're chasing his sons, they want him dead. They're fighting against Israel. Boom, boom. The Philistines already killed Saul's sons. You got the archers on the mountain shooting the arrows. They shooting the arrows. They're hitting up Saul with these arrows. So now he's wounded. He's like, he knows it's the end. You know what I'm saying? His mind is going crazy right now. Verse 4. Here's the point. Then Saul, Then said Saul unto his armor bearer, "Draw thy sword and thrust me through therewith." Meaning he asked his armor bearer, his right hand man, to kill him. He said, "Take your sword and stab me with it." Right? It says, "Lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me," meaning lest the Philistines come and do it themselves. But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. So his right hand man, he was like, "Hell no, I'm not gonna be the one to take your life, bro. I don't want to do that." And it reads, "Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it." And Saul killed himself. Saul killed himself, man. It says, "And when his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword and died with him." So you got to understand that we just read in Wisdom of Solomon, you're not supposed to be over yourself because these sorrow minds, right? But Saul's one of them cats that kind of took that route. Once again, the Lord had all this set up to from the beginning. We know Saul kind of did it to himself. From the time he started hating David because the woman came and praised David for killing 10,000s compared to Saul's thousands, and he envied him. He tried to kill him, and all the way down up until this point, the Lord set it up for the Philistines to kind of take over and destroy the Israelites during this time, and he just put it on Saul's spirit to off himself. But Saul already had a type sorrowful spirit, right? Because he was hating and envying David since that little festival or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And this is not a spirit you want to move in, right? Nevertheless, this was a different motive behind it. But the point of the matter is, you moving sorrowful, or being sorrowful. This is not one of the routes you want to take, right? This ain't one of the routes you want to take because, even when you read, let me get it real quick. Right in the book of it's the book of Deuteronomy. I believe it's in the book of Deuteronomy. I gotta get it. Right, but nevertheless, right, your spirit can is it I think it's an 8. I believe it's an 8, but I could be wrong. But nevertheless, your spirit could hop on another brother, man. Just like the same spirit hopped on Saul's armor bearer. Right? Who knows that another brother ain't catching hell, but you the brother uplifting him and helping him. You know what I'm saying? You the brother he sees that's strong. You the brother that's waxing mighty and doing what the hell you gotta do, even though you battling your demons behind closed doors. Right? You off yourself and you kind of put that spirit on the brother to off himself. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's not you wouldn't really want that to happen. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, chief. Right? Let me get this in 2 Corinthians. It's the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 7. I'm going to start at verse 10. And it reads, "For godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation, not to be repented of, but the sorrow of the world worketh death." Right? And what Paul's saying right here is you got two different types of sorrowness. Right? You got sorrowness and righteousness, basically, and sorrowness of the world. Right? You not being able to pay your bills, that's sorrowness of the world. Right? You not being able to you know what I'm saying, make it to your damn mom's anniversary or something, that's sourness of the world. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting that job, that's sourness of the world. Right? Because that's not gonna work with repentance or work with your salvation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get an account, just like in Second Ezra 9 with the woman, right? And I'm gonna put that account. You know what I'm saying? Ezra was going back and forth with the woman, and she's crying over her son, you know what I'm saying, dying after not being able to bear a son for 30 years, right? But Ezra, he's like, yo, well, what the hell about the nation? You know what I'm saying? What about Israel and the nation dying by the multitude? You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. And when I'm gonna get that account, right? But you got two different types of sorrow, and you don't want to sorrow over bullshit, basically. Right? If you're gonna sorrow, you want to make sure it's something to do with your salvation. It's something to do with this truth. It's something to do that is worth it. And not saying that working and all these other things ain't something to be sorrowful about, but you can't stay in that lower state, right? Because you got to work to pay these damn bills to survive, to support your household, not be an infidel, right? Things of that nature. You got to be able to work, or you got to be able to, excel in life. You know what I'm saying? But you want to really focus on the things that matter. If you're gonna be sorrowful, make sure it's something that's worth it and not just be bullshit. Just like the damn Edomite who killed himself when the Bed Bath and Beyond CEO who killed himself when his damn company went from a couple billion, a few billion to 600 million, and then he decided to kill himself. Or Lil Susie offs herself because she like I said, she made the clarinet team in high school, so she goes in the bathroom and hangs herself. You know what I'm saying? Those ain't things to be sorrowful about. Keep it pushing, right? This is one of my favorite verses in the Bible, in the whole Bible. It's not the number one, but it's definitely probably like my top five. You know what I'm saying? This is one of my verses that help me keep going and keep me, keep me going in this truth. Right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse number 13. It reads, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." Right? And that just, even when I read it, I get some type of feeling in my spirit, because it's like, even me, I have thoughts, I have things I go through, but this verse right here, it just does something to me because I know there's a mission and something I gotta fulfill. You got cats in the scriptures and out the scriptures that kill themselves. You know what I'm saying? That take their own lives. You got brothers and sisters who fall in and out this truth. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I mentioned earlier, I've had those thoughts before about saying chucking the deuce up to this truth. You know, it's tough for me. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? If it's the grace and will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I can't. You know what I'm saying? No matter how hard I fall, I can't because Yahushua said out of his own mouth, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." And I'm trying to get saved. Not only myself, but my wife, my children, right? The brothers I labor with, right? The nation I labor for, the hopeful 144,000 sealed elect, right? So knowing that I have to endure, I gotta keep going. No matter how sorrowful my mind gets, no matter how wicked Satan try to get in my mind and convince me to do other things, I gotta keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? And that's thus save Yahweh Shai, right? Now you can't, and you gotta remember too, when you're going through these things, you can't think that the Lord hates you or the Lord's not dealing with you, right? That's not a good mindset to have. Not saying it's bad to have thought that because we've all thought that before, but when you come into this knowledge and you really start to understand how the Lord operates, and you gain more understanding in this truth, then you'll know why the Lord puts you through these things. And we've already read um Sirach 2:1, right? But let's get this in Hebrews. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, and I'm gonna start at verse number 3. It reads, "For consider him that endured such contradictions of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds." So this is talking about Yahweh Shai right here, right? It says, "For consider him." We're considering Yahweh Shai that endured such contradictions of sinners, right? The Pharisees, the scribes, the high priest, against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. So we have to consider the things Yahweh Shai dealt with and went through on a spiritual level, on a mental level, and on a physical level. Yahweh Shai went through more than any of us, being the Son of God, right? And we have to consider him because if not, we're going to get weary in our minds and faint. And we have to consider him because of how much he went through, and that's what's gonna keep us pushing and going, right? It says, verse 4: "Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him." Right? So we can't faint when the Lord's chastising us, meaning whooping our ass. punishing us, judging us, right? When we was all kids, we all got some type of punishment from our parents, whether it be our mother, our father, our grandparents, auntie, uncle, whoever the hell raised you. When you did wrong, you received some type of punishment. Getting your ass whooped, standing in the corner, different cultures. You got, you know what I'm saying, my Northern Kingdom kneeling on rice. There's all different types of punishments. You know, our Judex going outside, getting a damn switch off the tree. You know what I'm saying? So there was all different types of punishments that we would receive as children for whatever we did, whether it was acting up in school, talking back, going outside we wasn't supposed to, not taking that meat out the freezer when your moms told you to, right? This is how the Lord operates. You got to understand He's our Father. So when us as a nation are disobedient, or even individually are disobedient to our Father, we have to receive some type of judgment or punishment. Not because He hates us or because He dislikes us, but it's because He has to chastise us. He has to, kind of whoop our ass to correct us, not to not to humiliate us, or it's to correct us, to show us the right from wrong, wrong from right. You know, when we break these commandments, that's when we get chastised. And even when we don't break these commandments, we still got to prove and show the faith to our Father that we believe Him and we trust Him. Right? We tend to tell our children, "Yo, do you trust me? Ain't I your father? Do you trust me? All right, so come on then." Right? When you was little and you have to jump off that damn ledge at the park, do you trust me? Yeah, all right, so then come on and jump. I got you. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of things our Father does. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, through faith, He tests us and chastises us. But also when we break these laws, that's when He get on our ass. So we got to take these things into consideration, right? It says, "For whom the Lord loveth, He chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom He received." So if the Lord spanks you, if you getting sorrowful in your mind, you catching hell, right? You got to understand and take it. Oh, damn, I'm going through this because the Lord loves me. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is actually dealing with me, right? If I'm sinning and I'm going off and I'm getting some type of judgment, something on my car messes up, I lose my job, I'm arguing with my wife, something happens, I catch I get some type of infirmity or plague, God forbid unto death, right? It's because the Lord loves you and He's dealing with you. And you got to take that cheerfully and, all right, I got my ass whooped, but, I got to turn up and I got to do better next time. And I got to do better next time. You know what I'm saying? And you got to just keep on going so you get it right. Verse 7, "If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not?" Right? Meaning, if you endure this chastisement, right? It said it just like I said, word for word. God dealeth with you, right? Just like a father would deal with his son, right? It says, "How are you a son?" And then it says, "For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not?" Meaning, how are you the son of your father if he don't even chastise you? Right? If your father lets you go out there and sells all types of drugs, shoot all types of guns, gets locked up, stealing, getting in trouble, doing bad in school, messing up at work, not teaching you how to be a man, is he really your father? Are you really his son? Does he really love you? Does he really love you though? You know what I'm saying? Nah. So that's what the Lord is saying. If you getting chastising and you enduring, it's because He's dealing with you because you are His son, right? Because a father who don't do that, are you really His son? That's what that's basically saying. It says, "But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons." And that's when you want to be scared, because if you're not getting chastised, if you're not getting judged or punished by the Lord in any way, shape, or form, if you're not catching hell, you're not going through it, you should be worried, because that's when the Lord is not dealing with you. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of when he does this to you. You know what I'm saying? He kind of says, I'm done with him. You know, catch him that way. I'm good off him. Mm, get him out of here. You know, and that's what we don't want. That's a scary sight. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's you know what those vibes give me? I'm gonna read them actually. I'm gonna read them. Probably the most scariest verse in the Bible. My opinion. Not a fact, just my opinion. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7. I'm gonna start at verse 21. And it reads, Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many marvelous works? So there's going to be people. The Lord's going to say, the Lord said, everyone, uh, 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 just because you call on Yahweh Shemil Rashai or whatever you call on, don't mean you're going to make it into the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? And there's going to be a lot of people saying, yo, I went out doing the work. I went out teaching. I did this video. I did that charity. I did this. I taught that doctrine. I did this counsel. Right? A lot of people's going to be saying those things in a response to the Most High saying, everyone ain't going to make it. It says, and then I will profess unto them. I mean, Yahweh said, this is what I'm going to say unto them. I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. I'm going to read it again. And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that worketh iniquity, you sinner. Get the hell away from me, you sinner. And that's what it reminds me of, that Hebrews 12:8, when it says, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. That's what it reminds me of. Because it's like, if the Lord ain't dealing with you, you just gotta be. It's one of two things. It's one of two things that the Lord's not dealing with you. You a damn heathen. It could be one of three things. You a heathen. You just going the hell off while knowing this truth, and the Lord done your grace and mercy is up, or you're just you're just a 2/3 from the jump. You was predestined to be a 2/3, and that's just your lot. Shalom, Haas. Right? So it's one of those three things if the Lord's not dealing with you. So you need to take cheerfully if you're being chastised. You know what I'm saying? You need to take these things cheerfully. Right, let me get this as well, another classic. Right? Right, this is the book of Amos, chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 1. And it reads, Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. So the Lord lets it be known again that you can't be worried about what everyone else got going on or why you going through this. The Lord said he's going to punish you for your sins, right? And once again, another word for punish is chastisement. We just read in Hebrews 12:3-8, that if the Lord chastises you, that means he loves you, right? So the Lord's going to punish you for your sins because you disobeyed him. And when you get punished, that's another form of correction. Meaning you're going to start doing right. So you can't take it as, oh, the Lord hates me, or the Lord ain't dealing with me. Oh, I want to fall out this thing, or damn, I'm so depressed, or nah, bro. You know, you even when you just go catching hell or going through it, it's the Lord loving you. He's dealing with you. And that's when you gotta strive and go harder in this thing. Everybody got their battles and is fighting their thing in this truth. Like I said, like I brought up Deuteronomy 28:65-66. That's one of the curses for us to be sound minded and catch hell. It says, "You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities." Meaning, we're gonna get punished for this. It was written. You're gonna get punished for being in sin, for going off, right? But when you do, take it cheerfully and understand that's a moment where the Lord could have killed you, right? The Lord could have took you out. He could have sifted you out. There's truth. So you gotta take that and be like, all right, oh, I gotta change. I gotta turn up. I gotta do what I gotta do in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this too. The book of Sirach. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 30. I'm gonna start at verse 1. And it reads, "He that loveth his son causes him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end." And he who loves his son, you gonna if you have a son, you're gonna whoop his ass. Straightforward. You know what I'm saying? Sirach is saying if you have a son and you love your son, when your son do wrong, you're gonna get on his ass. You're gonna judge him, you're gonna punish him, but you're gonna also let him know why he's being punished. Right? When your son disrespects you as a man, as a father, right? He gotta get some type of there gotta be some type of repercussion to his actions, for his actions. Like I said, whether it's belt to ass, whether it's standing in the corner, you take his video games away, his phone, right? Whatever it may be. But he gotta get some type of punishment so he knows in the future not to do that again. Right? Our parents used to tell us when we was kids, don't touch that fire. Don't burn your hand, you're gonna get burnt on that stove. And most of us probably got burnt on that stove, but we never did it again. We knew moving forward that stove was hot. You know what I'm saying? We knew that stove was hot. So it says, "He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance." So you wanna the Lord, he rejoices when we repent and do right. When we have sorrowful minds and we down or lowly in the spirit, and we get right back up because we enduring, right? We keeping our faith high. We doing all the things that we read earlier not to do, like commit suicide or be heavy minded. You know what I'm saying? Or not trusting in the Lord, right? And understand that it's not that the Lord hates you and you receive these judgments or you catching this hell or you're feeling like this in your mind, but it's because you're being tempted, like we read in Sirach 2. You're being tempted and tested throughout these trials and tribulations. You know, you got to take these things cheerfully, right? I got about 2, 3 more verses and I'm going to close out, right? I'm contemplating if I want to get this account in 2nd Ezra 9. I just don't want to be too long-winded, but it's a beautiful, for me, it's a beautiful account. I'm going to get it, right? I'm going to get it. And I got 2 more after that, 2 or 3 more after that. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9. I'm going to start at verse 39. And it reads, "Then let I my thoughts go that I was in, and turned me unto her, and said unto her, Wherefore weepest thou? Why art thou so grieved in thy mind?" So Ezra was meditating, and he heard this woman crying and weeping. He looked at her, he said, "Yo, what's up with you? Why you crying? What's going on?" And she said unto me, Ezra speaking, "Sir, let me alone, leave me alone, that I may bewail myself and add unto my sorrow, for I am sore vexed in my mind, and brought very low." So this woman, she's telling Ezra, "Yo, I'm sorrowful. I'm sore on my mind. I'm in a lower state." She's most likely depressed in this account, right? And you're just gonna know why. It says, "And I said unto her, What alieth thee? Tell me." Meaning, what happened? What's going on? Talk to me. And she said unto me, "I thy servant have been barren, and had no child, though I had an husband 30 years." So she didn't have a child for 30 years, kind of like a Abraham and Sarah situation. "And those 30 years I did nothing else day and night, and every hour but make my prayer to the highest. Right? So she was with her husband for 30 years and they couldn't have children. She prayed every day, every night for the Most High to give her a child. After 30 years, God heard me, thine handmaid, looked upon my misery, considered my trouble, and gave me a son. And I was very glad of him. So was my husband also, and all my neighbors, and we gave great honor unto the Almighty. So she's letting it be known that after 30 years, Yahweh Shem Shah was like, he heard her supplication and allowed her to be barren with child, right? Finally gave her a kid, he gave her a seed. It says, and I nourished him with great travail. So when we grew, so when he grew up and came to the time that he should have a wife, I made a feast. So after time, her son got older. Um, and she said she was making a feast for him to get married. Chapter 10, verse 1. And it came to pass that when my son was entered into his wedding chamber, he fell down and died. So her son ended up, after 30 years of being barren, no son, waking up praying, go to sleep praying, crying to the Most High, fasting, doing all these things for the Lord to finally hear her after 30 years to get her pregnant. Her son grew up, was bound to get married, and the night of his wedding, he died. Then we all overthrew the lights, and all my neighbors rose up to comfort me. So I took my rest unto the second day at night. And it came to pass, when they had all left off to comfort me, to the end I might be quiet. Then rose I up by night and fled and came hither into this field, as thou seest. And that's how she basically came up to this point. So this had to be only a few days ago in this account. Prior her and Ezra's conversation, her son had to have died within that same week, no more than a week ago, right? It says, verse 4, and I do now propose not to return unto the city, but here to stay, and neither to eat nor drink, but continually to mourn and to fast until I die. And this is the point I wanted to get at, because this woman was going through it for 30 years. She wanted to have a kid so bad for 30 years, right? And after praying, fasting, crying out to the Most High for 30 years, the Lord granted her a child. The Lord granted her a child. She got to witness and see the child grow up, become an adult. And then on the night of his wedding day, she lost her son. So now she's in she's probably, like I said, she's most likely depressed, right? When you read this more than just a book, because these are real accounts. You gotta look at it like this is a real woman you see outside. Her son died less than a week ago, and she's just grieved, right? That's her only child she lost. Grieved, right? Depressed, vexed, and she let it be known in the account. Look, this is and this is why I'm here. I'm gonna stay here. I ain't eating, I ain't drinking, I ain't doing nothing. I'm staying out here until I die. And these are the accounts we just read in 1 Samuel 31, right, where Saul killed himself. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1, right, where the Lord says not to kill yourself and not to pull destruction upon yourself with thine own hands, right? No matter how hard it gets, we got to take these things cheerfully. Sirach 2, it says, when thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Though you may be wanted or tempted to commit these acts and do these things, you can't fall victim to them. You can't give the demons what they want, right? And this could be the Lord ultimately testing you. You know what I'm saying? To see what moves you're gonna make or how you're gonna react or respond, right? So her point was she wanted to fast. She wanted to die out there in the field after losing her son less than a week ago, right? And that's how she wanted to go out, because her spirit was vexed. Her mind was sorrow, right? But let's read and see what Ezra said. right? This is chapter 5. I mean, Salakia, verse 5. Then left I meditations wherein I was, and spake to her in anger. So Ezra, he's mad because she wants to kill herself. He says, Thou foolish woman, above all other, seest thou not our mourning, and what happeneth unto us? Talking about the nation. He's like, yo, you don't see what's going on to the whole nation of Israel? It says, how that Zion, our mother, is full of all heaviness, and much humbled, mourning very sore. And now seeing we all mourn and are sad, for we are all in heaviness. Art thou grieved for one son? So Ezra's letting it be known, like, yo, I know you mourning and thing and whatnot about you losing your son. I understand what you're going through. He's like, but yo, we all mourning as a nation. You don't see what the hell's going on out here, right? Compared to your one son, we're dying by the thousands, probably the millions. Who knows at this time, right? We're dying. We're going catching hell, going through these curses, right? So for you to be so vexed and so out the spirit to the point where you want to die and kill yourself over one person, right? When you got a whole nation that's catching hell and going through it, is absurd. Because as much as we all want to mourn and cry and go through it, as much as we want to mourn and cry and go through it, um, we ain't doing that. Basically, we're not taking that route. You know what I'm saying? We not taking that route, man. You know what I'm saying? And we got a whole nation to look after and X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? So in that account, basically, she lost her son for 30 years, and she was even in this out the spirit to the point where she wanted to kill herself, right? And Ezra kind of had to put her ass in check. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all mourning, we all going through the same thing too, but you got to look at the bigger picture. Like, it ain't just about that one man, that one son. You know, because if that was the case, we'd all be dropping like flies if we could all take the route you took. You know what I'm saying? So we get the Book of Revelation, right? Chapter 21. You got 3 more verses. I'm gonna close out. Right, this is the Book of Revelation, chapter 21. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It reads, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and their God." This is the point. "And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." Right? So when we get, and that's why I read that Matthew 24:13 about endurance to the end. It says the same shall be saved. Because when you read verses like this, it says, and I'm going to read it again. It says, "And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain." The Lord's letting it be known, excuse me, that there's going to be no more none of that. You ain't going to have to be worried about being depressed. We're not going to have to worry about death, crying, pain. Like, all these things is going to be gone once we get into these glorified bodies, like it mentions in 1 Corinthians 15, and we make it to the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? These are all things that we're not going to have to worry about in these fleshly bodies, being in a lower state, being depressed, sorrowful, vexed, distraught. All these synonyms that you can think of, you know? So that's why I read, we have to endure to the end. You know what I'm saying? Because we got these things to look forward to. When you take routes like Samuel in 1 Samuel 31, him killing himself. Wisdom of Solomon said, "Don't kill yourself." The second Ezra's 9, the woman she wanted to kill herself. It's like these is we see these as demons taking hold on these people, and Satan trying to influence us to get on that wave whenever we're going through something, catching hell. But little do we know, if this woman, if she was in the book of Amos, right? If she was in the book of uh Hebrews, even though we know these things is way after, you know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking hypothetically. Like if she knew the Lord, man, right? If she knew to trust in the Lord with all thine heart, right? She spent all them 30 years praying, but when it really came down to it, and temptation kind of got her ass, she kind of gave up on the Lord. You know what I'm saying? For 30 years, she was waking day and night praying to the Most High, asking for a child. He blessed her with seed, and then when she got it, that account happened when her son dying on his wedding day. She kind of just forgot about the Lord and made a hasty decision. When we read, we got to be patient. In in Sirach chapter 2 verse 4, it says we got to be patient when we're changed to a lower state. Paraphrasing, and that woman wasn't patient. You know what I'm saying? So these is things we got to look forward to, right? No more death, no more pain, no more sorrow, no more crying, because the Lord is going to bless those who endure until the end. The Lord is going to bless those who can accept and endure his chastisement, right? Because we understand that that's just out of acts of love, right? And for us to do better. Let's get two more, right? This is the book of Matthew, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse number 4, and it reads, "Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted." Right? And I was going to get, okay. I was going to get Isaiah 61, because we know that's the original, that's the gospel right there, right? That's what Luke 4 quotes. But it says, "Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted." And we're reading these accounts. Well, when are they going to be comforted? We could be comforted now, right? But we got to understand, we got to endure the chastisement. We got to endure the curses, the trials, the tribulations. But then we're going to get but then it's going to be a point where we're not going to mourn, like we read in Revelation 21. You know what I'm saying? So you got to endure this mourning now. You know what I'm saying? So you can be comforted by the Comforter, Yahweh Shai. And then you got your brothers around you to help comfort you. You know what I'm saying? In your household, and whoever the Lord set you up in your circle, right? And I'm gonna close out with this. Right, it's gonna be my last verse. This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 4, and verse 7, and it reads, "I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith." And this is what everyone wants to strive to be able to say in this truth, right? You want to be able to make it to the end and say you fought a good fight, not you've given up, not you've fell victim to these demons, not you've killed yourself or pulled destruction upon yourself with your own hands, right? You don't want to be able to say I fell out the truth and be counted the lowest in the kingdom of heaven, right? You don't want to be able to do these things. You understand? You want to be able to say I fought a good fight, right? I was able to fight them demons. I fell, I got back up though. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to say I have finished my course. Whatever your lot is, at the end of the day, if the Lord brought you in this truth, you're an Israelite. So that's your course. But whether you're a teacher, an evangelist, a prophet, an apostle, a disciple, we all disciples, right? A disciple is a student. But you want to be able to say you finished your course. You've endured until the end. You've went above and beyond for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, for you, for your household, for your nation, right? You want to be able to say you've kept the faith and you haven't given up. You've always believed and you've always loved the Lord, bro. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to say you've done these things. Shit get tough and it get wicked. We still in our captivity, right? We can't forget these heathens brought us here 400 years and indoctrinated us with religion, with smoking weed, with fornication, with video games, with lasciviousness, with envy, with strife. They've indoctrinated us with these things for us to make it feel like it's normal and it's okay. But it's not, right? And we got to understand that a lot of things set up is created as a distraction for us to be sifted away from this. But us keeping this faith, enduring, fighting this good fight, that's what's going to get you right. That's what's going to get you to be able to defeat them demons when they convince you to be in that lower state, to make hasty decisions without being patient. This is going to be able to help you whenever you need helping. Not the drugs, not the liquor, not the woman. It's going to be the comforter, Yahweh Shem Shai, in His word, prayer, fasting, right? Helping your brothers. You know what I'm saying? And once again, a lot of people battle having a tough mind. You know what I'm saying? Having being in a lower state, being depressed, having wicked thoughts, being feeble-hearted. It gets tough in this thing, but you always gotta remember that Yahweh. You gotta think Hebrews 12:3. Meditate on Hebrews 12:3. If it's anything you're gonna think of when you're in those estates or you have these thoughts, think of Yahweh Shai and what he went through, man. Right? Think of his supplication. Think of his crying, his weeping, vinegar, piss, nailed, smoted. But you got to think of everything the Lord went through when you having these thoughts and you feeling like you're at a lower state, right? I'm gonna get that real quick and read that one more time, and I'm gonna close out with that, right? Because ain't none of us have it worse than Yahweh Shai. I'm gonna read it one last time. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, and verse 3, and it reads, "For consider him that endured such contradictions of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds." So when you feeling like you in a very low state, when you depressed, when you catching hell, when you going through it, just remember the man that died for your sins, right? The man that died for Israel and what he went through over there in Rome with them damn Romans, getting nailed to the cross, getting smoted, piss, vinegar, all these things that he went through, right? His own right hand man, not his right hand, but one of the 12 betraying him. You know what I'm saying? You got to think of the things he went through when you're thinking about offering yourself. You know what I'm saying? When you're thinking about giving up, falling out the truth, right? I highly suggest that's the precept y'all meditate on. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna stretch it too long. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna close out with that Hebrews 12:3. You know what I'm saying? If anybody in the truth, out of the truth, is going through something, right? You need precepts. You need any type of counsel, right? You need any type of advice, right? I'm definitely available, right? My Instagram is Chiraq4, right? Spell like my name down there, SHAIRAQ 4, right? You also got the Servants Rhode Island page on Instagram as well that you can reach out to, right? And then you have the Servants 144 page as well that you can reach out to. And I highly suggest you do if you feel like you're going through something. You really need that counsel, right? And there would be a heart to heart. You know, we the way we move is not condemning. Right? We're not worried about bringing you down. It's all about uplifting and keeping our people going, our brothers and sisters, because it's out of sincerity and love, a pure heart. right? So, Most High willing, the nation was edified, right? We giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Don't let these demons play you or take over your mind. Stay strong in the spirit. Endure, right? If you need to reach out to somebody, definitely do instead of making a hasty decision. Take heed on all these accounts and precepts that I brought out. And Most High willing, you stay strong through the spirit, whoever may be watching this now or in the future. But with that, Kwame Ashala, Shalom.